Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Optech session. Today we'll discuss newsletter number 357. We have only two topics to discuss. The first one is about report on quantum computing published by Chain Code Labs. It's a comprehensive report on the state of quantum computing, how it affects Bitcoin and stuff. The report is quite voluminous and we won't be able to cover the entire report in this one session. So I have only picked half of the report and we'll have a look at that. Probably we'll continue to look at the same report next week also. Apart from that, we have one small proposal on spam removal, some ideas about how to remove spam from the UTREEXO set. So we'll go over that also. So the first topic we'll discuss today is about quantum computing and its threat to Bitcoin. So we have three important heads of discussion. One is we'll look at the cryptographic foundations of Bitcoin and what are all the vulnerabilities that are present in the cryptographic foundation due to quantum computing. Then we'll have a look at the state of quantum computing as of 2025. Then we'll dive deeper into the vulnerabilities that are present inside Bitcoin. So the first one will be kind of an overview. Then we'll have an idea about the state of quantum compute in 2025, and then we'll go deeper into the vulnerabilities. After this, there are other. Next week we'll look at the solutions that are being proposed to fix these vulnerabilities, and we'll also have a look at how imminent or how urgent or what is the timeline within which we'll have to act, and what are all the compromises that we have to go through as a community. So we'll have a look at that next week. So first we'll look into the cryptographic foundations of Bitcoin and how quantum compute affects it. So the foundation of Bitcoin, that is the cryptography of Bitcoin, lays in two broad domains. One is the hash function, and the other is the elliptic curve discrete log problem. So we'll look at the hash function first. So we have typically two types of hash functions predominantly used within the protocol. One is the SHA-256 hash function, and another is the RIPE-MD 160 hash function. So where are they used? They are used in mining to compute the block hash. Then you use them in generating transaction IDs. You also use the hashes in signing transactions to calculate checksums. You also use them to generate public key hashes, which goes into creating your addresses. Then these hashes are also used in HD Wallet's key generation process. So the hash function is spread over multiple areas of a protocol, and it is very integral to the protocol itself. Then you have the elliptic curve discrete log problem. So this is basically the irreversibility of going from a public key to a private key. So we use the SEP256-1 curve, and we do elliptic curve math on it, and then we arrive at the public key from the private key. The security of the protocol lies in the fact that it is computationally improbable to reverse it. So once you have the public key and you don't reveal your private key, it is improbable for anyone with conventional compute to calculate your private key. So these two are the cryptographic foundations on which Bitcoin is built. So as far as the threat, so we'll have a look at what are the threats. So there is a threat from quantum compute to the elliptic curve discrete log problem and also to the hash function. So first we'll have a look at the threat to the elliptic curve discrete log problem. So what is a conventional threat to this elliptic curve discrete log problem? So we have the most powerful supercomputer that is available with us as of 2024 is this El Capitan. So it has about 11.04 million CPU cores and operates at a clock speed of 1.8 gigahertz. So using this supercomputer, you would require about 28 operations to derive the private key from the public key. That is, it will likely take 100 quadrillion years for you to derive the private key from the public key using this LCAP supercomputer. Whereas when you look at the quantum threat, so this quantum, the reversing or breaking the elliptic of discrete log is possible because of Shar's algorithm. So the Peter Shar invented this algorithm in 1994, and it is specifically designed to solve the discrete log problem, and it is very good at factoring large numbers. So using this algorithm, you can break this or solve this discrete log problem. So the quantum computers that can efficiently run this algorithm is called as cryptographically relevant quantum computers. So whenever you read news about quantum computes and stuff, so you should pay some attention to the details. There are quantum computers that are not designed to perform these kinds of operations. So what is relevant to us is only those designs or developments that are designed to do this kind of work. So these kinds of computers are called as CRQCs, so cryptographically relevant quantum computers. If at all we can realize a CRQC capable of perfectly or efficiently running Shar's algorithm, then these public keys can be private keys can be derived from public keys in a matter of hours or days. So that is the threat to elliptic curve discrete log problems. Then you have the hash. So with respect to hash functions like SHA-256, you have the attack is called as the pre-image attack. So where you go about guessing what could be input that would correspond to a SHA-256 output. If we try to run or try to reverse a SHA-256 output using the same El Capitan supercomputer, it would likely take 10 power 53 years. So conventionally, it's improbable or impossible. When it comes to quantum, it's a little bit interesting because there is one algorithm called Groover's algorithm. So you can sort of remember it like for solving discrete log problems, you need Shar's algorithm, and to solve hashes, you need Groover's algorithm. So what Groover's algorithm is that it basically it is a classical search algorithm. The only thing is that using quantum computers, it can reduce the order of time required to search through n items. So if at all a classical computer requires order of n time to search through n items, the Groover's algorithm will require an order of root of n times. So it reduces the time required to search through n items. But the problem is Groover's algorithm is not very amenable or very easy to implement using quantum computes. So when compared to the threat to ECDLP, that is elliptic discrete log problem, the threat to hash is less. So that means all these aspects of our protocol that uses hash functions are, like, you can say that they are less of a priority than the functions that use these. So our immediate or most pressing need is to understand how to shield or prevent quantums from breaking ECDLP. Once we are able to do that, probably then we can move to hash functions, because these things are lesser of a threat as of now. Okay, so that is an overview of the cryptographic foundations of Bitcoin and how what sort of threat does quantum compute pose to it. Next, we'll have a look at the state of quantum compute in 2025. Okay. So before that, we'll have a brief overview of two important concepts in quantum compute. It's all surface level, just to give you an hang of what is going on. So we have two distinctions in quantum compute. One is the physical qubit, and the other one is logical qubit. So so physical qubits, you can think of these things as devices or units of a device, like physically, that are used to realize a quantum state. So you can imagine them to be made of supercomputing circuits, ions, etc. So these are the building blocks of a quantum compute chip, and they correspond to the physical manifestation of quantum compute. So the problem is these things are noisy and are prone to errors, and you have to maintain them at a very specific temperature, pressure, moisture, and environmental conditions in order to reduce the errors. Contrasting to that are logical qubits. Logical qubits are higher level abstractions. So a number of physical qubits combine to make a logical qubit. It's not just a mere addition. You combine some physical qubits, and then apply on top of it some sort of an error correction algorithm or mechanism. And finally, you get a logical qubit with a certain degree of error correction. So this would require multiple physical qubits with error correction in order to make a single logical qubit. So this is the general idea behind physical and logical qubit. So now we'll have a look at some of the important developments. So we have Google's Willow. This one was the one that sparked all the debate within Bitcoin community with respect to the quantum threat, like at least the most recent conversation. So it's a supercomputer. It's a quantum computer that means Google has realized 105 qubits with it, and they have demonstrated higher than or like a really a good improvement in error correction. So the expectation is that when as Google keeps improving it, there is a good chance of it becoming mature enough to break the elliptic discrete log problem. So one estimates is that using Google Willow, if it improves at this current pace, we will soon be able to get reach this 13 million qubits mark required to break ECDSA. And another development is Microsoft Majorna. So this is a slightly different approach, or I don't know whether it's slightly different or completely different. So they are using something called as topological qubits, and these chips are made up of a different material, and they call these materials as topoconductors. And what these the importance of this is that this architecture or this design of from Microsoft has the capability uh, to provide resistance to good resistance to errors that the physical qubits are prone. So they have shown that their error rates are 10 times lower than the conventional qubit. They are also physically smaller, and so far they have demonstrated only 8 functional qubits. So you just keep this mind in number. The estimate is that somewhere you will need like 13 million qubits to break ECDSA. So Google is somewhere around at 100, and Microsoft is at 8 qubits. So, but Microsoft's roadmap says that they will reach 1 million qubits by 2035. And the idea is to parallelize these things, somehow find a way to parallelize these million physical qubits, and then make the compute powerful. Then there is IBM's Quantum Heron. It is they are developing it, but nobody is able to gauge the effect of or the threat that IBM's quantum compute poses to ECDLP, discrete log problem. So these are all the development, and they also did a survey among quantum compute experts. They surveyed 32 of them, and one third of the surveyed quantum computing experts believe that there is greater than 50% chance of any of these computing platforms being capable of Bitcoin of breaking the discrete lock problem by 2035. So this is the survey, or like the threat or perception based on which the community is sort of pushing for changes as soon as possible. So if at all we are to take this particular survey of experts who believe that there is a greater than 50% chance of these CRQCs, that is cryptographically relevant quantum computes, being capable of being capable of breaking the discrete log problem. So this is the context of the state of quantum compute in 2035. So based on this background is what most of the proposals to design post quantum stuffs in Bitcoin are geared towards. Now we'll have a look at the vulnerabilities specifically. So there are two types of attacks. One is the long range attack, and another is the short range attacks. So suppose let us say you have a quantum computer that can probably consistently churn out 13 million qubits and is very stable and it is economically feasible. Then all these sorts of attacks are possible. You have to keep that in mind. So let us assume that such a quantum computer is available. And what can you do with these quantum computers to attack the Bitcoin protocol? So you can perform two types of attacks. One is the long range attack. These are particularly focused towards public keys. So there are other types of attacks that you can also do, like engineer a fork or other stuffs. But what we'll see today is limited to public keys. So once you have a quantum computer, and you are going to directly use it to attack the public keys. So you can do a long range attack and you can do a short range attack. Long range attacks, what do they do is that you can um, target funds or target addresses that already have public keys exposed in the blockchain. Uh, there are different types of addresses, and a few of them have the public keys directly exposed in the blockchain, and you can sort of use your quantum compute to reverse the public key and get the private key and spend it. So that is a long range attack. Short range attacks are the type of attack that you can do uh, for addresses that do not inherently expose the public key, but they have to expose the public key at least while sitting in the mempool. So you, for example, we'll have a detailed look at this type of attack in the sections below. So these are the two large classifications: long range and short range attacks. Okay, now we'll have a look at the different types of long range attacks that you can do. First is the pay to public key. First is the pay to public key. Uh, First is the pay to public key address. So in this address, these are legacy addresses, typically Satoshi era addresses. They represent only 0.025% of the UTXO set currently, but they have disproportionately large number of BTCs. Close to 2 million BTCs are in these type of addresses. They are Satoshi era addresses. So the problem with this address is that the public key is directly in the address. So earlier, before the key hashes were introduced, one can directly send BTCs to a public key. So that's what Satoshi did in the earlier days, and most of his coins are locked in this type of address. So these addresses are immediately vulnerable. So once you have a quantum computer that can reverse a public key, all that you have to do is scan the UTXO set, collect UTXOs with the public key exposed in them, collect UTXOs with the pay to public key, and then pick the public key and run it through your quantum compute and reverse the private key. And now you have the private key and you can spend it to your own address. So this is the attack mechanism that you can perform. Then you have bare multisigs. These are legacy multisigs, only like only 57 BTCs are as of now locked into this type of address. Then you have the pay to taproot address. So this is relatively new. It was introduced after the taproot upgrade. The problem here is that it doesn't expose the public key directly in the address itself, but there are two types of spending paths in a pay to taproot in a taproot scheme, where one of the path you can use your public key to spend. So that is where this tweaked public key gets exposed onto the blockchain once you make the spend. And from this tweaked blockchain, a quantum compute can reverse the private key. So approximately 32% of the UTXO set currently resides in P2TR, but the value is low, only about 150,000 BTCs are locked in this type of address. So these are the long range address. Here you can see a plot of the UTXO set composition. The predominant type is your pay to public key hash. Then you have the pay to script hash, and then the pay to witness public key hash in SegWit, and you have a small portion of pay to taproot type of address. Uh, so this is the address composition, and these are the long-range attacks that can be orchestrated by a quantum computer. So these addresses are you can't do anything about them unless you voluntarily spend them onto a pay to public key hash address. Otherwise, they are all sitting ducks, and they can be picked one by one with a quantum compute that is capable of breaking the digital log problem. Then you have on-spin vulnerabilities, or these are the vulnerabilities or short-range attacks that we discussed above. So what happens is that even if you have a pay to public key hash address, and now you are going to spend from this pay to public key hash address, what you will typically do is that you'll add a script sig, that is, you will sign with your public key, and then broadcast the transaction to the mempool. Now the transaction sits in the mempool with the public key exposed. If you have a quantum compute and you can organize an attack that is quick enough to spot a public key in the mempool, reverse engineer the public key to a private and get its private key, then quickly compose a new transaction or a new transaction that replaces the old transaction and spends the fund to your own address. Then this kind of an attack can be successful. This is called as the on-spend vulnerable script types. All types of scripts are susceptible or vulnerable to this attack. It doesn't matter whether you have a pay to public key hash or a pay to witness public key hash address. You are very clean. You don't do address reusability. Whatever you do, you are vulnerable to this attack. An attacker can always sit in the mempool, watch it, pick transactions that has to sign their transaction with the public key, reverse the public key, use a private key to compose a new transaction, and then replace your own transaction. So this is quite possible for all types of addresses. Then you have address reuse vulnerability. So let's say you don't use any of these sitting duck type of addresses. You are just using pay to public key hash or pay to witness public key hash addresses. But the moment you reuse your address, the public key of that address goes on chain. If you reuse the address to receive funds or to spend funds, then the address's public key goes on chain. Now, a quantum attacker can easily scan the blockchain for address reuses, and he can extract the public key, and he can derive the public key from the private key from the public key, and then pick or drain your addresses. The problem is even though there is ample education or warning materials to stop address reuse, people keep reusing it. There are close to 2.5 million BTCs in pay to public key hash addresses that are being reused. So all these addresses are vulnerable. Apart from that, you have some other avenues. For example, when in 2017, when there was a fork, people might have received equivalent coins in say Bitcoin Cash, and if they had spent their UTXOs in Bitcoin Cash, then the public key would have been exposed in BCH chain or Bitcoin Cash chain. Now, an attacker can scan the forks block, find the public keys that are in the fork, and then use it to attack your funds on the Bitcoin mainnet. So this can also happen. It's a possibility. And another vulnerability is with respect to xpubs. So xpubs contain a lot of information. Once you have an xpub, you can derive all of its childs. So unless and until you don't expose your xpubs, you are safe. If at all your xpubs are exposed somewhere, then it is a serious problem. With your xpub, the attacker can derive all your public keys and can reverse all those public keys into private keys and drain it. That is quite a possibility. Then you have escrow services. So if you are part of an escrow service and the escrow service actor is malicious, you can always have your funds drained because you have to expose your public key to the escrow service. So yeah, these are all an overview of the type of attacks that can be orchestrated with a quantum computer that can break the elliptic curve discrete log problems. I will pause and wait for any questions.
Yeah, I think I just have one question. Yeah, I think you said 2.5 million bitcoins are in P2PKH addresses which have been reused, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'm just curious that those bitcoins are. I'm pretty sure it should be also statistically possible to know how old are they in terms of which UTXOs have been there, because it's tricky to now move them, right? Because as soon as the owner moves them, it exposes that the same address, right? I don't know, like just imagining the scenario that what is the solution that they have now to move it privately? Is there any? Yeah, is there even a problem? Yeah.
Yeah, they have a problem. The problem is that they have been reusing the addresses. So what they can do is that if at all, for example, they have reused a particular address, all that they have to do is set up a new address and transfer their BTCs to the new address. And from that point forward, they should not reuse addresses. So address reuse is like step one. If you use pay to public key hash and you don't reuse addresses, even in current, even without any post quantum tech, you are safe. So the best practices, even let's say there is no consensus, and as a community we are not able to not able to converge upon any single way to protect Bitcoin, protect or introduce post quantum protocol changes. Even then, as an individual, if you use only pay to public key hash or pay to witness public key hash, that is SegWit, and you don't reuse addresses, your funds are safe, your BTCs are safe. There's no way that a quantum compute can attack you because you don't expose your public key anywhere on chain. So,
Right.
so if you at least take care of that, you are safe. Okay, cool. The second part of the report addresses what sort of solutions are currently being discussed in order to address these vulnerabilities that we saw now, and then it also goes into the social or community dilemma that Bitcoin community faces. as to what to do with Satoshi's coins. So Satoshi's coins are sitting ducks. Unless and until Satoshi comes and moves them, what do we do with them? Do we burn them, or do we let them be there for the quantum computers to come and crack them? So these are two dilemmas that we as a community face. We have to decide between property rights and maintaining the unbreakable or unbreakable or nature of Bitcoin itself. So these are the two dilemmas that we face as a community moving forward. So
Okay, wait. How is it dilemma between property rights and what's the other side of the dilemma?
unbreakable or nature of Bitcoin, like
Okay,
unhackable nature of Bitcoin.
right, right.
So do we enforce? Do we enforce the unhackable nature of Bitcoin by burning Satoshi's addresses, or do we respect property rights and we don't interfere with Satoshi's coins, and like we let them be? Probably a quantum computer will come and claim those.
Okay, right. I remember we had a discussion in one of the earlier Optech sessions around it, and I think the major dilemma, part of the dilemma, is also that because it will move the market in like drastic ways, right? Because it's 1 million coins. That's the biggest concern practically, right? Otherwise, it's an ethical
Yeah.
dilemma mostly, right?
Yeah. I think it is more than the market moving aspect of it. It is more of underlying the market moves. It is more of a dilemma between these two choices. So, do we respect
Hmm.
property rights, or
Yeah.
do we not respect property rights?
But that's a question of respecting property rights of a mythical figure, right?
No, it can be anyone. It can, let's say, Shrayan mined these 2 million coins and he forgot his keys. Now you are still alive. At least now you were content that the coins are lost forever. But with quantum compute, your property rights are like violated. So your property is being taken from you involuntarily.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So there are legal consequences to it also. What in that case, what do you do? Let's say you are alive and you have 2 million pay to PKH and you have lost your key, and some quantum computer comes and breaks it. So to whom does it belong to? So those kinds of questions will
Right.
arise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a interesting dilemma and yeah, discussion.
Yeah, it's a landmine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll discuss about this in the next session. They have like the report also gives its own opinions, so yeah, we'll have a look at it next week. Okay, the next news item is around spam removal. Again, controversial stuff. So recently, Robin Linus made a proposal in the Delving Bitcoin forum. So he proposes that we do something about the spam. Why do we need to do something about the spam? Because there is a dramatic growth in Bitcoin's UTXO site since to 2023. We all know that there is a bloat in the UTXO site, and it is a huge problem that is facing the protocol and the community. Within this 2 year period, the size UTXO set size grew from close to 4.5 GB to 11 GB, largely due to protocols like inscriptions, BRC20 tokens, and other wash trading activities. The problem with these is that approximately half of these new UTXOs contain less than 1,000 sats. They largely contain junk datas in them. So So there are attempts, like many attempts, and many proposals are around to address this problem of UTXO set bloating. So it has been shown that the UTXO size seems to be growing exponentially, and we have to come up with some new idea to contain this, or move to a new paradigm with respect to UTXOs. So Robin Linus's proposal is that let's do a soft fork, and probably let us discard or eject the spam UTXOs from the set. So his definition of spam is, he has come up with a definition. So what he says is that calculate the UTXOs amount minus the time that UTXO has been in the UTXO set times the dust limit. Dust limit for each address, like let's say pay to public key hash, is about 546 sats per vbyte. So when you do that, you get a number, and he says that if this number is less than 0, you just prune it, or you remove the UTXO and from the node. And if you do this as a soft fork, and all nodes upgrade to this soft fork, then probably the UTXO size across the network will get pruned. So that is his proposal. Even though there is there is no immediate consensus on this proposal, people are trying to use it or modify it or work around with this idea to come up with some agreeable way to size or remove the spam from the UTXO set. Related to this, there is one other proposal called UTREEXO. It's basically a tree, a Merkle tree. So this proposal is put up by Tadgate Raija, the co-creator of Lightning Protocol. So what he proposes is that let's organize the UTXO set into a forest or a tree or a Merkle tree. So, let's first define he says that let us first define the height of the tree. And if h is the height of the tree, then there will be 2 par h leaves. So each of it will be a binary Merkle tree. So you'll have 2 transactions, and then you combine this and hash, and you get a root. And you keep hashing till you reach the root or the root hash. So this is what he proposes. Let's put all the UTXOs into a Merkle tree. And an example is, if you have, let's say, 133 UTXOs, then you need to create like 3 trees. One tree with the height of 7, so that will have that will include the first 128 UTXOs. Then another tree with a height of 2, so that will include the 4 UTXOs. Then finally one one tree with a height of 0, that will have just a 1 UTXOs. So this will make a total of 133 UTXOs. So this is how you will construct a UTREEXO. So what does this do? So you don't have to store all the individual UTXOs. You just need to store the root hashes. And if anybody and as a node, if you want to verify, the transaction will probably transaction will contain the root hash and the spending path, or the path through the Merkle tree, similar to what we do in Taproot. So, or similar to what we do when calculating the Merkle root in a block. So that's what we will do, and this will drastically reduce the size of the UTXO set that we want to store. When we want to add a new UTXO, when a UTXO is to be added, it will probably the protocol will probably try to find the rightmost position in an available tree, and then place it there, and then hash it, and finally get you the root hash. Similarly, for a deletion, there are some deletion is a little more little more complex because you have to give the entire path of the Merkle tree and then from that path delete it. So, but he has proposed algorithms for deletion also. And finally, verification. For verification, as I said earlier, you have to give the UTXO plus the path through the Merkle tree. So this is one other proposal that is aimed at redesigning the entire UTXO set architecture. Um, so that was about this news item where there is a proposal to either trim the UTXO sets or reorganize the whole UTXO sets into a Merkle tree. Okay, that's all I have for today.